Hey, what's up, guys? I actually found an article that I wanted to share with you, and the link is going to be in the description. But this couple who supposedly had federal CARES Act protection actually lost 200 points on their credit score because they had actually been reported as late on the entire balance the entire time. Right? Thinking that their credit score is totally fine and finding out that it wasn't. So I want to share this information for you, and we're going to talk about the Black Swan and the CARES Act, right? Now, the reason that you need to know about this is because it can happen to you, and you need to know, number one, how to prepare yourself in case this happens, and number two, what to do, right? All right, so first of all, I guess we should start with this. What are Black Swan events and the CARES Act? Well, if you've seen any of my recent videos, then you do know what a Black Swan event is, but basically, it's an extremely rare and unpredictable scenario that causes severe consequences, such as the pandemic, right? Such as the pandemic. And the Federal CARES Act is the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, or CARES Act. It was actually passed in March, and the federal stimulus bill allowed people facing economic hardship from the coronavirus pandemic to defer payments on select loans. And it wasn't just loans, right? We're talking about basically anything that is banking related. All you have to do is contact your creditor, say, hey, you know what, I've been on time for the entire life of my loan, or, you know, my whatever with you, and I lost my job. You know, I'm not going to be able to pay for the next 2 months. And once you have this agreement with them, they're not supposed to report you as late for that specific time period. And a lot of consumers are finding out that even though they had quote unquote protection, they are still being reported as late. And obviously, your credit report is going to take a hit from that, right? So this Federal CARES Act, it doesn't care. So though the CARES Act contains language to protect the credit of people who take advantage of it, problems similar to the couple I'm going to tell you about have been popping up around the country. In a letter to the director of the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, sent in October, the U.S. Public Interest Research Group noted 13,000 complaints about credit reporting from April through September, which is a 550% increase over the same period last year. Now let's just talk about April. You've heard me say this before. Let's talk about April. In April, 14.7 million people didn't pay their credit cards, and 3 million people historically didn't pay for their mortgages, and 6 million people didn't pay for their auto loans, okay? And that's just 1 month. Add it all up from April through September. I mean, we're talking about millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? And that's millions of consumers who, you know, probably tried to contact their creditors to get some sort of protection, and some of them did and some of them didn't. Now, out of that percentage of people who actually did, a lot of them are finding out that they're still being reported as late, even though they had a deferment, okay? So there's a bunch of companies that I could actually name right now, but we're not doing that. And just as a side note, the CFPB was completely out of reach from everybody, including the president, until recently. So a Supreme Court ruling actually allowed them to continue operating, but the president can remove the director at will. At will. So they can be held accountable. They can have their entire, structure changed and all that kind of stuff. They are not out of reach anymore, okay? So what's the problem here? It's exactly what I told you. You're reported late even though your payments are deferred. So you're taking this time to, get your life back together. I lost my job. I did this. I did that, whatever. And you're like, okay, my credit's not going to take a hit. So at least that part's okay. Just to find out when you pull your credit or you get an alert that, no, dude, you were totally reported as late, and now your credit cards are going to get closed, and you might lose your mortgage and blah, 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 because you're not going to be able to pay it and whatever, okay? And instead of actually helping you when you bring it to the attention of the, loan servicer or your creditor or whatever, they basically say, well, shit happens, right? And that's actually what was said to this couple. So they brought it to the attention, not just with the bureaus, but the actual mortgage servicer. And they were basically told, this happens, right? And the mortgage servicer I'm actually talking about is called Cenlar. Okay, so this is the actual advice that they were given, and that this article believe it or not, gives to the public. And I totally don't agree with it. So, and you can actually find the link on the screen right now, but they tell people to pull your credit with annualcreditreport.com without putting a disclosure on there that when you do pull it on there, if you are in the middle of disputing, you don't want to pull it on there because it turns your disputes from 30 days into 45 days. You want to purposely add more time on there? No, dude, you don't. And it says, and you can dispute directly online with all three bureaus. You do not want to dispute online. And like 50% of the people I speak with say, oh my God, I didn't even know I wasn't supposed to dispute online until I saw your video, but I had already disputed online. Why? Because they make it so easy. Go on Credit Karma. There's a big button that says, see a problem with this? Click here to dispute. But you're giving up your rights under Section 611 and 623. We're not going over that in this video right now, but that is to just drive the point home that a lot of people don't know this. Okay, it also says, well, one of the great things is that you can check your report weekly. Well, another thing that they're not saying is, and obviously, they're not going to say it for this reason, but anywho, what they're not saying is that, dude, how many times do the actual creditors report? Once per month? Once every 60 days? Once every 90 days? Depending on who they are. Why are you checking your credit report weekly? Well, the reason is so that the bureaus can obtain more data, right? If they have a way to get you to sign up for something, if they didn't already have your information, they're definitely going to have it because you're like, oh my God, I might be a victim of identity theft. Oh my God, I might be this. I might be full of fraud, which is why they want you to go on there and sign up for all these things. So it has nothing to do with your credit and everything to do with the bureaus making more money, okay? So I go over that in quite a few of my videos if you want to just kind of backtrack 90 to 120 days and move forward from there. You will learn everything that you need to know about that. Okay, so obviously I don't agree with any of these things. That is not the way to go about this. Okay, finally, let me tell you about this couple. They are the Cavanesses, and it's a couple who lost 200 points even though they were protected under the Federal CARES Act. So they initially reached out to their loan, the mortgage servicer, Cenlar, to ask if a deferment will hurt their credit score, and they were told no. So they actually ended the deferment early, voluntarily, right? And they paid their scheduled payment early, just to find out that the entire loan balance reported delinquent the entire time, right? And they lost 200 points, like I mentioned. So when they started the dispute process with the bureaus and with the furnisher, they were not only told, hey, yeah, it happens, but they basically said that they're crap out of luck. So then on December 3rd, the couple receives an unsigned apology letter directly from Cenlar that says, we're going to fix this, right? However, when this couple disputed with Equifax, the response they received from Cenlar was no change. So the entire point behind this is that even though there's a law, even though there is federal this and regulation that and whatever, these things are still not followed. They're still broken. They're still not upheld. It doesn't matter that there's a law out there. Right? There's a law that says don't jaywalk, and I'm sure you do it. It says don't speed. I'm sure you do it. It says wear your seatbelt. A lot of people don't. Don't steal, yet people do. Don't murder, yet people do, right? There's laws because people break them. And especially now, in the middle of a pandemic, when the entire world is upside down. I don't know why people are not talking about this, and I don't know why all these consumers think that credit is not affected by this. It is like the number one thing that is affected by this when it comes to finances. Yes, it is. Nothing is the same. The process is longer. Investigations are different. Just look at Experian with the 25,000 employees that are all working from home right now. Like, let's just look at this logically. Okay, so as you can see, this happens, and we already talked about how often the 13,000 people that have made complaints in between April and September, and the 550% increase. I mean, that's just astronomical. So it's not just you. There's 68 million consumers who have bad credit, and 13,000 of these 68 million have complained. And we're just talking about like stupid, errors, right? So the real reason, it all comes back to the Black Swan event, and that's COVID. Okay, so like I said, you can go back through my videos, but one of the most important things is that I've been telling you guys that these things are happening. I've been telling you that they're going to happen. I've been telling you these things, and then they happen. So pay attention. Pay attention. And this has nothing to do with me and everything to do with you and getting where you need to be. All right, everything has changed, and we're not headed back to normal. Right? New credit, new standards, new regulations, and a new economy. So even though we're in uncharted waters, credit errors can be fixed. I give you the answers. You have to do something about it, though. And I'm not talking about waiting until New Year. I'm going to make a New Year's resolution and blah, blah, blah. You're using a later mindset. What you need to do is do something right now. Right now, not tomorrow, not 2 weeks from now. You need to do something right now. Okay? So, which brings me to where you can find help. What do you do? So what do you do with all this information? Well, you can do this yourself. You can do this yourself for free. There's 450 tutorials going back to the summer of 2016 that show you how to do this and how to do it the right way. And there's tons of free downloads and resources and apps and software and tutorials and screen recordings and all these different things that I provide to teach you how to do this the right way. You can also use the link in the description to check out the awesome free content on the hub. Or if you want it done the right way, and yes, I could do this faster than you and get you a better score faster, you can schedule a call to see if I can help you. All right. And that's for me to take over your file for a done for you credit sweep. And I said to see if I can help you because I say no all day long. I choose every single client that's in my program. You cannot sign up for my program without going through me. So if you want to see if I can help you, want to see if it would be a good fit, use the link in the description. And yeah. Now, I've kind of gone over a lot, but there's one very, very important thing that I mentioned, and Nelson Mandela said it the best when he said, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall, right? So it doesn't matter whether you have bad credit. It doesn't matter what you've done. What does matter is what you do right now. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to fix this? How are you going to make your life better? What are you going to do to be the best you? And once again, I'm not talking about New Year's resolutions and all that, because all that's a load of crap. If you're going to change, you're going to change right now. Right this moment. Today. The moment that you are actually hearing these words in this video. What are you going to do? Well, I leave that up to you. All right. Like I said, if you need my help, use the links in the description. But if not, if you are a regular subscriber, then I appreciate you watching my videos. If you recently went to my virtual event, I appreciate you coming. And if you want to join my next one, I am actually going to be putting a video about that very, very soon. And that's it, guys. Happy holidays. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And like I said previously, I will be catching up on my comments. So if you need me, just post it in the comments. But otherwise, take care. Stay safe. Don't travel. Please don't travel if you can refrain from doing so. But if you do, just be safe and take care of yourself and your family. And once again, happy holidays. Bye, guys. See you soon.